Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Awakening Network. This is episode number 112 of. Hold on, I have to put my mic in a better position so everybody can hear me much better. And we have here Kasey Speer with us in this 112th Ask Julius Show. How are you, Kasey, today?
I'm doing fantastic. Hope everybody out there has had an amazing weekend. Beautiful, beautiful weekend here in the U.S. Of course, it's summertime, so all kinds of fun, crazy stuff. I don't know about everybody else out there. Here in the U.S., we're celebrating the 4th of July. And my neighborhood certainly shot off enough fireworks for the whole global celebration of the 4th of July. So we didn't get to sleep till very late, but it's all good. Rolling out a great weekend for everybody. So hope everybody is celebrating their own beautiful lives and their wellness in their life. Hope everybody's great.
Absolutely. There was a lot of celebration going on, and we hope that everybody had a great weekend. And we're going to start right away because, as you know, we had a lot of questions last week that weren't answered, and we're going to be starting with those. I see already people here showing up, these wonderful beings. Wendy Pala is here. Blessing, Kasey, Angel, and Julius, sending you all so much love. And we are also sending you so much love. The first question I'm going to ask today is going to be, let me see. I'm just trying to make sure that those are questions that we didn't ask the other day. The next question is Hilda B, by the way, saying also, hello, everybody, magnificent souls. Happy to be here. Thank you for being here, Hilda, as usual. Sony D and Julius. In meditation, maybe the first I ever did, a black, majestic, galactic horse appeared. He stayed for a while. What was that? Thank you.
Probably your spirit animal, or many would perceive to be one of their spirit animals. Of course, you can look into the amazing energy behind horse configuration, which is extraordinary insight, compassion, empathy, and strength, and speed of heart. Okay. So probably one of your spirit guides showing up to you in an extraordinary way. We're still always going to support, Master, that you are everything in being source. So as you vision quest in any of your processes that you do for yourself, always know that you are always seeing versions of your own self, the extraordinary empowered being that you are in being source. But it is also sometimes fun to go to the identification that leads to relationships when you see things as separate and singular from yourself, and know that all is beautiful and all is well. Probably showing up to remind you of all of those characteristics within your own self that you probably have a tendency to forget, or that you have a tendency to not focus on and not reflect upon. But your meditations are for you, Master. They are for your self-reflection. So know that anything that is coming by is generally going to give you so much loving support on all aspects of your life, on all that you are doing, all that you are being, and also to lovingly possibly point out areas of your life that could use a little more focus, a little more intention. So sending you so much love, and are so happy that you are spending time for yourself, within yourself. It is the key to everything, especially in this day and age when everything seems to be pulling you so drastically and so severely away from spending that precious time with yourself. Keep up the great and expansive work.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Next question from Hilda B. Are there different types of programs stored or related to a specific energy bodies? If yes, in which energy body are the programs of powerlessness and authority outside ourselves stored?
Yeah. So, Master, that would vary from all of you based on how you perceive those programs and experiences. So they can be scattered in within your energy bodies. They can be, fortified in your matrix, your what we call your cylinder. Okay, your cylinder is usually mostly where you project all of your programs. It's like an encasement or your own matrix that you're living within, which is based on a massive perspective of programming that you have received. A lot of programs, Master, or most programs are basically the same program. They're just hitting you from all different facets or all different ways to support those programs. And of course, the program is always about you not being source, you not being expansive, being an extremely limited being, holding self judgment against your own self, also about compliance and manipulation and control. So, all kinds of things of that nature, everything to control you and everything to keep you minimized and everything to keep you from ever desiring to see yourself as more than what is dictated that you are outside of yourself by the programming.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. New question. Next question comes from the Awakening Movie Podcast. What's going on with the Earth ship? Is she spinning faster in July to create earthquakes and volcanoes to release her pain?
No, we would not support that that is a truth. So we're not sure where you have heard that perception. We would not say that she is moving faster for many, many reasons on that. But remember this. First of all, most of the information that you are seeing or hearing is propaganda. Anything that is telling you that things are massively different now than they used to be is incorrect. Everything runs on beautiful pattern systems to keep the biosystem, the biofield, the ecosystem balanced. Things are far more balanced than you actually believe that they are due to propaganda. But also, Master, that the Earthship herself will take care of what she needs to do to detoxify herself and to purge herself from all of the toxins and all of the abuse and all of the attack and all of the thwarting and all of the disrespect that she gets mostly from humanity and a lot of the other beings that are working with her. Remember, Master, that there are layers and 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 layers of civilizations underneath your Earthship's top layer. You are living on the top of the Earthship. There's far more species and civilizations living within the Earthship, and that is a consideration of the Earthship, is the holding and housing of everything within it. All of your spheres in your solar system are that way. So even though it appears that there's just surface life, that is not a truth. That is not a truth. But she will move and stretch and bend just like you do. But the more abuse that she takes, the more that she will correct herself. But we don't support that the spinning has shifted or changed. So your Earthship we're going to support that your Earthship is not perfectly round. It's a little more on the oblong shape, and it's much larger than what you have been led to believe. Much, much larger than what you have been led to believe. And part of that also helps to keep that realm that you have created for your third dimensional holographic life existence in a healthy rotation for herself rather than an actual spinning action.
All right, thank you so much. The next question comes from Wendy Pala. Blessing to Casey, Angel, and Julius. I'm grateful for all of you and sending love. Is menopause a program to keep the divine feminine at the lower frequency?
Yes, and of course, Master, all the toxicities that are placed upon you to cause that action, so it's a long part of your epigenetic codes or your genetic codes that get formed, for you and your body. It's of course all about the belief system that it's going to happen to you, and then it's all about the reinforcement of the chronic conditions and shutting down the hormones for you to cause that action. So your hormone flow in your physical body is massively manipulated, massively toxified, massively, okay, on a massive scale. And it catches up with you long about that same time that it hits everybody. The funny thing is it hits men as well. Their hormones are also affected right around let's say the 50-ish range. The 50-ish range, usually in the 50s, is about where a lot of that takes place. And it affects men as well, just because men don't have a menstrual cycle to stop. So they really strongly measure it. Their hormones are as deeply affected as yours are, causing a lot of issues with the physical body. Your physical costume is designed, Master, to live basically forever. Okay. Meaning that you have the ability to raise the frequency in your physical costume where it's constantly rejuvenating itself, constantly restoring itself, and can even shape shift itself upon your desire or your intention. It's just you that have given up on that possibility and that truth. And we understand, because not only have you been programmed with that limited truth, but you have also been poisoned and manipulated through the functions of the body, through medications and vaccines and all kinds of crazy stuff, for the body to shut down, usually before a 100-year cycle period. So we understand why you buy into that, because it's evidential all in front of you. But know, Master, that even under your circumstances of toxicity and limitations, there's many things that you can do to transition, whether you're having a menstrual cycle or not in your life, without all of the byproducts involved, all of the hormone variations, all of the mood swings, all the weight gain, all the things that you've been programmed to believe that are there. There are ways to work that system. And the best way to work that, of avoiding all of those difficulties, is to detoxify yourself. Detoxify yourself on a regular basis. Especially with parasites in a lot of your parasites attack your soft tissues, your organs, and your hormones, your glands, meaning your glands, and your brain, and anything soft tissue in your body. So doing processes to eliminate a lot of those things will definitively help you glide through that period of your life and not even have a care or a worry.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for the answer. Let's go to the next question from Sarah Air. And thank you, Wendy, for the previous one. Will fireworks become less common over the coming years as people become more aware of the harm they cause to wildlife?
Ooh, that's a great question, and a great point. Probably not. There's far more going on a daily basis that is affecting your wildlife that they may address. But, humanity is very selfish. They're very self-centered. And anything that literally brings a spark to their life, they don't really care. They don't really care about the fallout. There's so much that affects wildlife, Masters, that you just don't even get a consideration to. Farming affects wildlife, okay? Plant and crops affect wildlife, okay? Building affects wildlife, right? Water systems, pipelines, drilling for oil affects wildlife, okay? All of your greenways for power, your solar panels, good holy heavens, you want to talk about annihilation of wildlife, okay? So it is not likely that that is going to occur very soon.
All right, thank you so much. And the next question comes from, one second, Tommy. When we created coffee beans on this planet, what was its original use for? I'm not sure that it was used in a way that it is used today, as in stimulating our nervous system.
Great question. So it's actually a painkiller. It's a form of a painkiller, actually. Okay, so caffeine is really great for pain, and it is for energy and focus. So coffee beans chewed. So animals chewed them. Okay, so they became produced for humanity because a farmer found his sheep or his beast, his livestock, chewing on a strange bean when he had taken them up into the mountains, and they were dancing and jumping about with all kinds of vigor and all kinds of life. And that was really the discovery of the coffee bean. So then the farmer or the shepherd took some and chewed on him himself. Of course, they're not very pleasant, right? So eventually they became dried and ground up, just like teas, just like herbs and things of that nature. So things from the Earthship Master are medicine. Earth's medicine. Hallucinogenics of any kind are painkillers. They're not for spiritual growth, okay? You're never supposed to be stoned out of your gourd to try to reach the potential of your consciousness. That comes through clarity and intention. We had to throw that in there. But coffee is a painkiller and a stimulant, but it is also a great detoxifier, okay? So it actually can have a lot of uses in the body for detoxification if you've been poisoned. If you've been bitten or poisoned, also rubbing dry coffee on that area can massively help the healing process.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. The next question comes from Angel Wings Amanda. Hi everyone, should we be going digital? And if we don't, will we get locked out of things such as bank accounts if we don't get vaccines? Thanks, Amanda.
Uh, Sorry, we're not sure what you're speaking of. Are you talking about just systems going into digital systems? They are already there. They're already there. Are you talking about getting digitized under your skin with a chip? Okay, like the vaccines. We wouldn't encourage anybody to do that. We wouldn't encourage anybody to do that. What, are you crazy? Are you crazy? Seriously? At this point? Okay. And all it takes is denial to do it, even if they're trying to force those systems on you. If nobody's going to do it, they're not going to make any money. Anybody using your system, start your own system, start your own banking system, go back to trade, go back into industries that are, through a handshake and through forward facing. That is the most insane thing that we've ever watched humanity propose as an accepted possibility for anybody. And we would tell you to run and live in isolation before you did something like that.
Wonderful, thank you so much. Next question from the Alpine Cakery. I like that name. Hi Julius, what the heck happened with Diddy, and when are some of these Hollywood Satanists going to be exposed?
So he's gone. He's long been gone. He's long been dealt with. So it's been years now that he's been gone. You're watching a show play itself out, a staged show for disclosure. That's what you're watching play itself out, Master. He's already been taken care of. So has so many of them. That's all what we can tell you. So go ahead and enjoy the show and see how the general population that is asleep are being treated to come out of coma. Have compassion for them, because they're going to sugarcoat everything as much as they possibly can, because the truth is just too harsh and too difficult to get a hold of. But this character, will be sentenced. This character will be, supposedly sent to jail. Don't worry, the actor who's playing him, all is well. You're just watching a program play itself out.
Fair enough. Thank you. Next question, Love Lie Lauren. Her question is, are there any land maps that are accurate of the surface layer of our Earthship that you could recommend? Is there land outside of the ice wall of Antarctica?
We're going to tell you that a lot of your information is not fully correct. We're going to tell you that there's many, many, many things that are hidden from you on the Earthship from the governments. Okay. We're going to tell you that your Earthship is not flat. It is more oblong looking, and because of the way it's shaped, you can't get a really good grasp of the curvature of the Earthship. Besides the distance that you would have to go up to see the curvature, no pilot has done it yet to actually see the curvature. But the land maps are always controlled and manipulated. The land maps are not accurate for size. Okay. And the land maps are not fully accurate as to what's on your Earthship as a land mass. That's what we can tell you.
All right. Next question comes from Darlene. Here is Darlene. Here it is. Okay. Since all thought is energy and no thought can be destroyed, does it start to take on an energy of its own as more thoughts like it start to morph together?
Well, Master, you are thought. You're thinking of thought as an energy other than you. Okay. So thought is always ongoing and always expanding, which is you. Okay. So we're not sure what you're asking us. Do you take on a life force of your own? Yes, Master, you are the life force. That is, and that is thought. And thought is always expanding itself. And that is you. So that's what we can tell you about your statement.
All right, fair enough. Meanwhile, I'm just posting some comments from the audience. Very nice to see all those opinions here appearing. Thank you so much for being here. All right, let me go up to find the last question that was, yeah, from Daleen. The next one, thank you, by the way, Daleen, for the question. The next question of someone that has still not asked any question is from Adrienne. Will we receive money from the government as promised after the Doge founding?
Your money that is coming to you, Master, is part of Nasara Jasara. We would have, that's what the big bill is that Trump just signed, was it, things leading into that. So we would suggest that you do your research on Nasara Jasara, and that will give you a lot of answers to your questions that you have.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. By the way, just a reminder of how we typically do with the questions. We typically try to ask a question from every single one of you guys that are live. Then we go to some offline questions, and then we continue with the second, the third, and the fourth questions of the people that are online right now. Obviously, we appreciate you being here. We're going to go to a question from Sodom03 from the last show, actually. I was told I need open heart surgery or 3 stents placed. Any other advice? Because I don't want to do either.
Yeah, we would give you advice on doing a parasite detox. Your heart has been affected with parasites, and that's what we would recommend to you. Uh, Also, to change your diet and take better care of yourself, for heaven goodness sakes. Okay, you know that you have caused this disruption in your physical body. You know what that's all about. You are not taking care of yourself. You have endured great stress. You have a lot of fear and a lot of anger in within you. You need to deal with that. You can, and you are amazing, and all can be magnificently well for you, Master, magnificently well for you, should you decide to prioritize yourself. That's the truth. That's the truth. You also have a very wounded heart from betrayal in your life. We would encourage you to deal with that and let that go, so you don't crush your existence through that experience.
All right. Thank you so much. And let's go to the next question. Andreus Zeus. How to Julius, Casey, and Angel. What's Julius on Tai Chi and Qi Gong? Can they be used to raise one's vibration effectively?
They're a beautiful way of you working your energy, a wonderful way for you to work your energy. Everything in your life, Master, is either raising your frequency or lowering your frequency. There isn't any one thing that's going to raise your frequency. Your frequency comes from your thoughts and your emotions mostly. Okay. But that form of energy movement is a wonderful way for you to move energy gently and beautifully to help balance your energetic biofield around your body. But whether that's going to remain that way for you is up to you on many different areas of your life. But we support anything that honors and recognizes and nurtures your energy field.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. The next question is an offline question as well from Julie Beaupré. Which animals have a collective soul versus individual souls? Thank you.
No, there are no individual souls, Master. There is only one energy. Everything is a fractal. Everything is a fractal. There is no individuation, none. So please change your perspective, because until you do, you will never be able to fully grasp the unity conscious aspect that you are, which is your highest consciousness reality.
Awesome. Thank you so much. The next question comes from All right, comes from after this one from Julie. It's gonna be Hilda B. Did we as souls created parasites? If yes, with what purpose? Are there man-made parasites?
Yeah, most of them are man-made. Most of them are toxins, come from toxins and are injected into you. So parasites can have a function. They can have a function. They can eat away dead tissues. They can actually clear up infection in some cases. In some cases, okay, and some of them have to do with just some of the natural bacterias and things like that in your body. But they're those aren't the ones that we're talking about. We're talking about the toxic, injected ones that are injected through all of the medications and the hormones, artificial hormones. So there's no natural hormones that are injected in you. You all know that, right? There's no such thing as that. Everything hormonally injected into you is lab grown, So it's all intentional. It's all intentional to harm you. Okay. It's put into all animal tissue that you are consuming, unless you are growing your own animals and consuming them, but the food that you're feeding them probably have parasites in them. And so that's where they come from. They're dirty, filthy conditions, but yeah, a lot of them are artificial or grown in a lab.
All right, fair enough. Next question comes from Ashley. How can we be sure when we meditate that we receive messages from entities that are safe and want the highest good for us?
By raising your vibration, master, and then anything and any circumstance that you are in will make you safe from low vibrational communication or access. That's it. That's it. Your frequency is your answer to everything in your life. Every experience, everything that you create is all reflective of your energy frequency. Loving and compassionate and empathetic beings are of high vibration. If you are of that vibration, you will openly have communication or access with them, which is you in a match of that vibration. And if you are in low vibration, fear-based, traumatized, stressed, anxious, then you will have the low vibrational experiences, including the people in your life, whether you're meditating or not. Even in meditation and outside of meditation, those frequencies always match for you.
Fair enough. It's that time in our show in which we talk about QR codes. Why? Because we always have a QR code app. As you know, on the top right corner of the screen, there's a QR code saying containers of fear. It's not that you access containers of fear when you actually scan the QR code. You take your cell phone, you point the camera to your code, and then you're taken to a specific landing page where there is a special workshop for you. And a special experience by Kasey and Julius and their group of entities. That is what it is. That's what it is about. Containers of Fear is actually the name, the short name, because we cannot put all the words here of a workshop called Our Bodies Are Not Meant to Be Containers of Fear. Let me share the screen so everybody sees it. 1 second, please. Here it is. All right, and this is it. 1 second. Here it is. All right, so Julius will explore deeply what we have become in our human costumes, how our identities were never meant to be human, nor anything tied to the human agenda. That's amazing. Really, I mean, I don't get so like surprised easily, but I have to say this two-part online workshop that will be actually done July 8th and July 9th at 5 p.m. Pacific time, and there will be then replays available in video and audio. Sounds amazing. Tell us a little bit more about it, Kasey.
Yeah, it is going to be amazing. So this is going to be probably one of those classes or conversations to kind of blow your mind. I want to thank Sue Dolan, our extraordinary production manager, who got a drop on this subject matter and had a short conversation with Julius about it, and we decided to put it in a class. So kudos to Sue for coming up with this subject matter. It is going to be amazing. It's going to give everybody amazing insight on what their bodies are for, what your bodies can actually do, And by holding the perspective that you're human actually shifts the vibration of your body into a fear-based, low vibrational aspect, which is what's activating a lot of the limitation of your physical body and your physical life. So come with us. Come with us. Come here. Come here. You're invited, right? To come have this crazy conversation, enlighten yourself, but more than that, empower yourself. Empower yourself to take hold of all of the responsibilities of all that you are in an amazing, amazing way, as well as collaborating with some of the most extraordinary students and participants for these classes, like all of you, those of you who participate in the classes. You provide such an extraordinarily safe place for people to interact with all of us and with Julius as they journey through their conscious journey, but not just that, apply their conscious journey to their lives. So Julius always hits everybody from the applicable action-based aspect of doing your conscious journey while you are having a human experience, because they have been human, so they know how relevant that is. So if you're interested in learning how to do that, come join us for this class. They're always so much fun.
Exactly. They're always so much fun, and we have plenty of members of our audience that have been in many other workshops. Again, you only have to do the only thing that you have to do to attend one of those. Take your cell phone, point your camera to the QR code, and you will be taken to the landing page where you can sign up. If you have any further questions, feel free to send an email to support@channelingjulius.com, support@channelingjulius.com, and our production team will be happy to answer all of those questions and meet you there. We would love to meet you there. July 8th and July 9th at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the US, which is 8 Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US. Okay. All right, let's continue. Let's continue our conversation because we have plenty of questions. And the next one comes from Elizabeth. Wow, great to see you again, Elizabeth. Who is the government? Why the most billionaires hide and do everything secretly? Excuse me.
So you have more than one government. You have always have bilateral aspects of energy running here on the Earth ship. So you actually have two governments running. One that is of what we would say extreme nefarium, okay, that are basically out to turn all of the human race into slaves for an elite group of people. That's been going on basically since the beginning of time. Most of them have a lot of reptilian bloodlines in them and are even hybrids of being reptilians. You could get into a long information on that. This is not really the platform for all of that, but it is. And then you have a government that's trying to kind of run and temper that and give humanity back a lot of their sovereignty. So there is a behind the curtain war that is going on. And what you're seeing, out in the media and things like that is usually a lot of propaganda and a lot of distraction. So the secret societies, the secret rituals, the secret goings on is, of course, always going to be the ones that are actually controlling anybody that you see out in the public is a puppet. Anybody in your political arena, anybody is a puppet. They can be used for more high frequency. They can be used for more low frequency. The ones that are actually in control are not forward facing at all. In fact, they generally don't even live on the surface of the earth.
All right, fair enough. The next question comes from Cat 55K. Is space also part of that hologram? What is it at the 3D level?
So, Master, everything is a slowed down energetic version of thought projected into a possibility for an experience from you being source. The only thing that is actually real is the way all of that makes you feel, or all of that contributes to you knowing yourself as source. So anything that holds matter, anything that can be used as a platform, like a dimension or a realm, is a holographic projection aspect of pure thought, of pure thought. So that's what we will tell you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Next question from Stacy Savage. Nice to see you, Stacy. She has actually a two-part question. Okay, so it's a little bit long, just letting you know. Julius, I have a hearing for child support this week, and I'm trying to remain hopeful that all will work out. I feel like I'm up against evil and worried that my ex will drag it on further. Can Julius give me advice to equip me with what I need to come out successful with this? Thank you. Love to you all.
So, Master, you are in an extremely low vibrational system. And they generally won't, landslide on either side. A judge does not like to make those decisions. They want the attorneys to make those decisions. The judge is always angry that you're in the courtroom in the first place, because they think of all of you as immature children that won't resolve things that are your responsibility. So you're always up against that type of energy. Nothing very directed personally against you. That's just the overture of the energy in the judicial system. It's funny because it's actually not a judicial system. It has nothing to do with justice. It has to do with being legal. Okay. It's a legal system, not a justice system. And that should tell you everything. It should tell you everything. Okay. When you are dealing with low vibration, Master, the best thing that we can tell you is hold your vibration high, hold your light high, saturate yourself with knowing that all is well because you are well and safe. And whatever comes out as a ruling, which is mostly based on the judge's mood for the day, you're still going to be okay. You saturate your life with love. You saturate your life with supportive people. You saturate yourself with the love of that beautiful child, and all is well for you. Never, ever let a singular outcome determined by another human being govern your existence, your joy, your happiness, and your thriving and your possibility. Never, ever, ever. And if you never got another penny from that other person, then find a way, because there is a way. There is always a way, Master. There is always a way. Always. Okay? And whatever way you create for yourself is for your expansion. Because whether you realize it or not, you are creating the situation just like everybody else is. That's the power and the sovereignty of you being source. You just are getting to have the opportunity to find out what your soul is up to. But face it with clarity, resilience, honor, truth, joy, and empowerment, Master. And no matter what occurs, you are a phoenix, and do not let anybody ever falter you from that knowing of truth. We will send you immense energy of light, Master, for the success for your child, that your child is well taken care of, nurtured, and loved. And we know for sure that you will always provide that in any situation.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. The next question comes from Sara Monte. Am I destined to work with plant medicine and teach others? Thank you.
Master, you create your destiny. There is no destiny written for you. You are source. What are you waiting for? Because you've even got an insight to do that. You're talking to yourself. Why would you have any hesitation? Why would you have any hesitation when you are having that thought? There is no destiny for any of you. You are all source, having experiences to know yourself as the all. And it's a program that has been deeply seated inside of you to think that there's a power that exists outside of you making any kind of determination as to what or who you should be. That is a false teaching, that is a religious teaching, and that is programmed, and that is what is holding humanity down. Blessings to you on your inspiration and your creativity for plant medicine, Master. It is much needed. We hope you thrive in that area. More than anything, we hope you find immense joy and creativity in that area. Please always follow your joy.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. The next is an offline question from Charity Thornton. Julius, I have a question. If source is figuring out who, what it is, does source have a creator? I've always wondered this.
No.
The human mind can't comprehend the vastness, but yeah, LOL, thank you.
No, source is everything, master. You are everything. We think you're getting hooked on a type of a bean. We think you're getting hooked on a type of a bean. Okay. There is only one energy. It is all energy. Okay. There isn't an energy that created another energy. Everything is the same energy. It's just a fractal or an extension or expansion of it. Should we say that again? Energy is all energy. It is not separate in any way, shape, or form. That's why we said there's no separate souls. None of you are separate. There's only one of us here. There's only one of us here. And we do agree it is nearly impossible for the current activity level of your brain to grasp that concept, but you can change that as well, Master. Find peace and joy in knowing that you are the energy that you perceive yourself to be, having so much power within.
All right. Thank you so much. And let's go to the next question from the Awakening Movie Podcast. Are skin issues being reported face and neck and feeling really strange, like I'm jumping in and out of dreams?
So skin issues are usually parasites. They're usually, any toxicities in the bodies that surface are usually parasites and toxins within the body. And those are coming out because you're being highly toxified from every angle. They're spraying pesticides on, they're spraying poison on you. They're spraying it in the sky. Okay. So all of that is toxins in the body. Eczema, psoriasis, those are all toxins. Everything is. Okay. Are they changing timelines? They're shuffling timelines, yes, at a rapid rate. No question about that. No question about that. We suggest you practice stability and grounding applications for yourself on a daily basis throughout the day so that you can endure these shifts with far less chaos and feeling more stable and more control over what's going on around you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. The next question comes from Sony Dean. Julius, many people ask the AI about the future. Example, tell me about 2050 with remote viewing, etc. What do you say about that? Thank you.
That there is no future, there's no such thing as time, Master. That's what we say about that.
All right. Next question comes from Adrienne. I'm thinking about placing ivermectin into bananas and give to my autistic so
Oh.
to help deworm him. Do you think that's a good idea?
It won't hurt him. That's why we will tell you. It is not the only application for worms, but we do understand the complexities of the autistic child and having to do your best to be creative on that forefront. There are all kinds of herbal teas. There's all kinds of tinctures. There's all kinds of different things for you to look into for worms and parasites. Okay. So the autistic child has metal in the brain and has plastic in the brain and has parasites in the brain. Okay. And so you want to do things for those types of detoxification. Ivermectin is a wonderful medicine, but it won't take care of all of those things, but not a bad place to start and certainly not a bad thing to be doing. It will not hurt him in any way, won't hurt him in any way. Blessings to you that you see progression. The other thing that we want to reinforce with you, Master, is cut the sugar out. Take all sugar away from that child. It's killing the brain. It's killing the brain. Okay. So we want to make sure that we say that, and blessings to you on the disciplines that you are able to instill, because the child will respond positively to even the things that you think are going to be very hard to instill. His wellness and his expandability rely on your strength and your determination to be the one governing what is going into that child's body.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you, Adrienne. And the next question from Wendy Pala, do I have hybrid children due to an abduction? And will I meet these children here on Earth? I often automatic sketch these children.
That's another timeline for you, Master. We would tell you that that is not in this timeline. That you are getting downloads, or you're getting doing remote viewing into another timeline for yourself. With given the timeline shuffling that they're doing, you may be able to have an encounter with them. But as the way that this timeline looks at this moment, we do not see that happening right here for you.
All right, fair enough. The next question is from Sarah. Hold on. We already did this one before. 1 second. Alpine Cakery. Hi again. Is nicotine good for you? And are the high nicotine foods, nightshade veggies, good or bad because of the lectins? Thank you.
So we will tell you anything that naturally comes from the earth is generally good for you. Okay. Anything that is artificiated in a lab is not. That should clearly answer your question. Okay. So finding natural sources of nicotine that grow naturally within a plant that has not been GMO'd, that has not been toxified through manipulation and injection of that. If that's not the case, then yes, in its natural form, it has healing and healthy properties to it. But nowadays, most everything has over injections and over toxifications to it, obviously, including your crops and anything, any type of tobacco and things of that nature. You literally, if you feel the need to smoke tobacco or sniff it or chew it in some way, then you literally should be growing your own tobacco leaves, drying them out, grinding them down, and doing it that way. Otherwise, it's pure poison for you.
All right. Clear enough. And thank you, Alpine Cakery, for the question. The next question comes from the Awakening Movie Podcast. Are billions of souls wanting to get onto Earth right now because they are trapped here as ghosts and want to be freed? Or is it not as great as we think on the other side?
So, Master, you're still thinking of souls as separate, okay? There isn't a count to souls. You're a fractal. You're a fractal that is always expanding itself. So you are ghosted in many timelines, and you are not ghosted in other timelines. So please try your hardest not to think of that as a separate and singular thing. There's basically a type of a rotation that takes place, just like a fractal rolling. We literally want you to go and get yourself a magnificent kaleidoscope, and look into a beautiful bright light with it and roll it, and think of yourself, Master, as that. That's a great depiction of you as source. And you look at all of the fractals in that kaleidoscope as all of the versions that you are playing out of yourself in all different forms and possibilities that have a consciousness to it. It's the most amazing thing. And you will see all of these types of subject matters totally different when people are talking about this and that, and this species and that species, and this religion and that religion, and this nationality and this nationality. And you say to yourself, okay, I'm all of that, all of that. Okay. There's no such thing as death. There is a continuation always, and you are constantly changing costume for every adventure that you seek and create for yourself in knowing that you are source.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. The next question is an offline question from Sony Dean. Julius, what about the circus with Bezos? 3 days marriage in Venice with all billionaires and famous guests. They actually possess all on earth and the money. There is definitely something wrong here. My question is, how do we turn this around? How do we take our power back, our financial freedom too? Thank you.
Well, um, first of all, they aren't the ones that have everything, so we'll just tell you that. It's just a distraction, Master. It's a distraction of the ridiculous. It's a distraction of the ridiculous. Okay? It is showing you how ridiculous people have direct their interests. How do you take your power back? Stop paying attention to them. Stop feeding the beast. Stop feeding the beast with your energy, with your attention, with your money to the best of your ability. Okay. And come to the knowing that you are source. The monetary systems are changing. We hope that they're going to complete the change for everybody very, very soon. And we would tell you to focus on your life, Master. Focus on the joy in your life, raising your consciousness, which has nothing to do with what Jeff Bezos is doing, for heaven's sakes. Okay. Nor to anybody who's attending the wedding. So sorry you didn't get your invitation if that hurt your feelings. Okay. But it has nothing to do and doesn't have to affect your life in any way. Your sovereignty, Master, is your ability to stay in joy and magnificence in your life. And nothing can take that away from you unless you surrender the rights to it to another. Stay off the stage, Master. It is a ridiculous space. That's what we will tell you.
Wonderful. And the last question of today's show number 112 of the Awakening Network, where we help accelerate the consciousness of humanity, comes from Adriana. Does astrological signs conduct how a person behaves or shapes their characteristics? I don't agree. It does. I don't agree. It does to an extent. Thanks.
So, for people who do not own themselves as source and choose to create who they are being in every moment, and you are in a low frequency state and you give your power away to a planet, then yes, we would say it could govern you. But that's your choice. That's your choosing. Okay. It is a fun game. It is a fun resource, but it does not govern you, because here's what we will tell you about astrology. Masters, you are source. You created the planets. Why would you let them govern you? That's what we will ask you. So if you want to play, have fun. If it does not resonate you, don't. If you want to dabble in it here and there, have fun with it. But Master, you get to choose who you choose to be. Every characteristic you can choose and develop. That's being aware, conscious, awakened, and responsible. Others don't. They'll surrender to things outside of their nature that is a program that somebody else suggested, just like they live their lives. They live their lives in victimhood. They live their lives without accountability and with very little creativity in their life. And that's not to discredit the astrologers out there. That's not to do that. Astrology is a study, and it does hold some truth to it, because people fall very much into the order of that suggestion. But we have said this for a very long time. Astrology is based on 12 planets or 12 houses. They call them houses. And your solar system has 14 of them, not 12. So those calculations can't be accurate anyway. And an advanced astrologer nowadays is actually admitting this and starting to work more of a 14 house projection for people. Then you can get into the long conversation about, well, what about when a planet has the energy that's developing that planet? When does that affect astrology? Well, it would affect it from the birthing of that energy, right? And those can't be seen yet. So how does astrology hold all of its water? Through you, Master, through you. So we again would encourage you to have fun with it. And if there's positive things for you to follow and it resonates with you, then have fun with that. If there are scary things in there, try to hold your sovereignty and try not to let anything govern you, Master. You are source, so find your own equilibrium in that game.
Wonderful. And that was the last question of today's show. Remember, there's a QR code. Take your camera from your cell phone, just point it at the QR code, and you will be taken to this incredible landing page where this two-part workshop is going to happen on the 8th and 9th of July at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So get ready for that. And then, how are you today? Before we go, Kasey.
I just want to send everybody, like we have been doing, so much love from their heart space. We want to encourage all of you to always blow up your light. Start your day that way, right? Stay away from your cell phones for the first hour that you wake up. Blow your light up. Spend time in contemplative thought. Spend time in appreciation. There's so much going on in everybody's lives. And if you begin your life with this form of stability and intention, you will improve things for yourself. We also recommend you end your day the same way. Stay off those devices for about an hour before you decide to rest your mind and restore your energy. And always, always stay in gratitude, awareness, and appreciation of all that you are and all that you have. And we are sending so much love to everybody.
Excellent. So much love to everybody. Thank you for being here today. We're going to end the show here with this incredible QR code for the July 8th and 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US workshop called Our Bodies Are Not Meant to Be Containers of Fear. Remember that. It was our pleasure. Thank you for being here. We love you. We are sure that you have enjoyed the show as much as we have here at the Awakening Network, accelerating the consciousness of humanity every single day. Let's go for this incredible outro video from our production team. We love you. See you next week, okay? Be safe. Bye-bye.